Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Continuing with the 6-part vlog series about my trip to Egypt. This is part 4, Luxor. In Luxor, the day started pretty early. I freshened up and got quickly ready for the hot air balloon ride. First, we took a boat ride to the other shoreline. From there, we took a short bus trip to the hot air balloon location. Finally reached the hot air balloon location. After a memorable hot air balloon ride, I went back to my hotel. After reaching my hotel, I spent some time exploring the beautiful premises. Then I tried the breakfast buffet. The next tour plan was little later, so I went back to my room and rested for a while. After a while, I went out for my next tour, Medinet Habu. Finally arrived at Medinet Habu. Some historical facts about Medinet Habu. The Medinet Habu temple complex was built by Pharaoh Ramses III in the 12th century BCE during the New Kingdom. It served as his mortuary temple and was dedicated to both Amun, the chief god of Thebes and king of gods, and to Ramses himself, worshipped as a god after his death. The massive complex is famous for its well-preserved reliefs showing the battles of Ramses III against the Sea People. This is one of the most astounding things in Medinet Habu was these colors on the walls, which are the original colors which are still remaining even after 3200 years later. Here is another fun fact about Egypt. In Egypt, in different architectural sites, you will see this unique shape on the walls. These are called cartouches. Cartouche is an oval frame that enclosed the pharaoh's name, carved on the walls and monuments to protect it for eternity. The royal name, which is in hieroglyphics, was placed inside because Egyptians believed that as long as the name was preserved, the king's spirit would live on. You will see them carved and painted all over temples like Medinet Habu, Edfu, Karnak. That's all from Medinet Habu. Next stop, Deir El Medina. We arrived at Deir El Medina. Deir El Medina is an ancient Egyptian workmen's village which was home to the artisans who worked on the tombs in the Valley of the Kings during the 18th to 20th dynasties of New Kingdom of Egypt, which is 1550 to 1080 BC. Next we checked a perfectly preserved tomb of one of these workers. Then checked out another perfectly preserved tomb. After that, we decide to go to the next stop, Valley of the Nobles. All around Luxor, you will keep seeing this iconic archaeological remains which belong to the Egyptian kingdom. Finally arrived at the Valley of the Nobles. The Valley of the Nobles is where ancient officials, priests and governors were buried during New Kingdom. Unlike royal tombs, these were filled with colorful scenes of daily life, giving us a personal look at ancient Egypt. Together with valleys of kings and queens, they show how every level of society sought eternal life. Now, all around Luxor, you will see these valleys which are collection of tombs hidden in cliffs. Now, Egyptians moved from pyramids to hidden cliff tombs around 1550 BCE. Because pyramids were massive landmarks that practically advertised where the treasures were buried, making them easy target to tomb robbers. So in the New Kingdom, they started burying in the hidden tombs in these valleys. In these valleys, nobles or kings or queens, you would see so many of these tombs. Some are publicly accessible and some are closed, only open to archaeological researchers. Next, we went to the alabaster factory. From here, bought a few souvenirs, and then we went for the lunch. For lunch, we went to another authentic Nubian restaurant. After lunch, we headed back to Luxor. After reaching hotel, I rested for a while. Then in the evening, I went out to check out the light and sound show at Karnak temple.
Here was conceived and lived this fabulous labyrinth of facades and passages, esplanades and corridors, perspectives.
His left hand fondles a wild ram walking with him.
Do not be overwhelmed by the sheer size of these ruins.
The citadel that arose here
My cause to be that men should have a path on which to tread. I open the eyes of all, and the waters of the Nile spurt from my sandals.
So, midway between the sanctuary and the river, but to judge the span of my life, know that after her I married 4 of my own daughters, was 92 boys and 106 girls.
Upon that dark voyage that is the fourth.
Signatures and prayers. Let's dream this forest of symbols. the pipes of the river, which brought to Egypt both its grace and its knowledge. Between the second and third islands, and he decorated them. The decoration was completed by Ramses II, who used not rubies this time, but sunken rubies. This high-star chamber is the mother of all the three.
Ceremony will continue all day long around the awakened statue.
Now, God is resting. We must leave the sanctuary.
After a mesmerizing light and sound show at Karnak, I went back to my hotel and tried out the dinner buffet. After a delicious meal, some desserts, and some Egyptian tea, I went back to my hotel room and called it a night. Thanks for watching. This is the end of part 4 of the 6-part vlog series of my trip to Egypt. Also check out other parts.